Travis Justice, Ross Peterson, inside the News Radio 1040 WHO studios. It's halftime at Iowa City in the Cyhawk game. Iowa with a 7-3 lead. Ross, good news, Iowa has a lead. Bad news, Iowa's offense is just as bad as it was a week ago.
Yeah, Travis. I mean, good news. The Hawkeye defense is doing everything it can and enough to keep this game in the Hawkeyes' favor. I don't know what else needs to be done. I really don't. Alex Padilla must have done something in practice to upset this coaching staff, because we all know that Coach Ferentz, the biggest thing with him is protecting the football. 9 interceptions in the last 8 games, or 9 games now for Spencer Petras. I don't know what else needs to happen. Any one of those quarterbacks that they've got on scholarship should be able to take a snap, turn around, and hand the football off.
I wouldn't use the word upset. Maybe form of mistrust, right? To where
got to be something there. Yeah, whatever it is, there's something there. Got to be.
Spencer Petras, 5 of 11, 33 yards, 1 interception, a quarterback rating of 52.5, a completion rate of 45%. It's putrid. It's bad. I know people are upset about booing last week at Kinnick Stadium. The Boo Birds have been out again, and rightfully so. You're paying for something more than that. The Twitterverse is starting to heat up again, saying Padilla should come out, and Iowa's going to get the football to start the third quarter. But remember the last thing I said before the game started: special teams and turnovers. You got the block punt that led to the first Iowa touchdown, and 2 turnovers that were huge in keeping Iowa State out of the end zone.
I mean, Travis, 2 turnovers in the end zone. You've got 2 turnovers that turn into touchbacks. It's incredible what this defense has done. If you're an Iowa State fan, it's just, wear the nut cup and you're just anticipating that next blow or whatever it is. This defense is special. We can see that. They are really good. Hunter Dekkers, I'm gonna leave the jury out. I want to see the second half on him. I'm really impressed so far, but that interception was huge. It was a big mistake by a young quarterback. But to focus on the Hawkeyes, if Alex Padilla doesn't get his shot now, he's not gonna.
No, I would agree with you in that. In fact, Hunter Dekkers, 15 of 24, 125 yards, that 1 interception. That's a 63% completion rate and 97.9% quarterback rating. You're right. He's looked like the better quarterback. Offensively, Iowa State has 180 yards of total yards. Iowa with just 86. Both teams penalized a couple of times. But again, and Iowa State here. Remember what I said on the Morning Rush? Watch that TOP. That Hawkeye defense is going to get tired. I'm telling you right now, it's 17-35 for Iowa State, 12-25 for Iowa.
Wow.
That defense cannot be on the field. It can only carry you for so long before you get gassed, right?
5 minutes is a lot of time of possession difference in a game.
Yes.
That's in a half.
Yeah,
and Travis, you can't. There's no magic bullet to that except for having an offense that can actually sustain drives. That's the only thing that can increase your time of possession. So the commentators are talking about on the television broadcast, Matt Campbell and his defense are challenging Spencer Petras. They know the run is coming because they know the longest play that the Hawkeyes have in that first half is an 11-yard pass play to Sam Laporta.
That's it.
That's it. 11 of your 85 yards came on one play in a half of football.
So we got some comments coming in. Let me get to them. Let's say real quick. Scott says, how can anyone on the coaching staff justify keeping Petras in the game? The defense can't bail him out forever. So Scott, true.
Scott, the only thing I can come up with is that they've just, like Travis said, whatever reason it is, they've lost any sort of trust in Alex Padilla.
And luckily, according to Patrick, the Iowa defense bailing out this offense. But hold on, that's only right now. You've got 30 more minutes of football to play.
And I think that's why he says luckily.
Yeah.
The Iowa defense is bailing out the offense. He's absolutely right.
Chad says Petras had nobody open on that pass that was knocked down. Thank you, McDonald IV. I don't know what he's saying there, but make him an injury, put in Padilla.
Make up an injury. You don't need. Jeff, I like what you're doing there, but you don't need to make up an injury. You need to point to the interceptions. You need to point to the inefficiency. At this point, if Spencer Petras were benched and were asked about it, I would hope he would say, man, I gave it my best shot.
Go back to earlier in the week when everybody was so impressed on how he broke down and I'm not ripping the kid here. Everyone's like, well, he knows his next nose. What I heard is he's probably a pretty good coach. He might be able to watch game film pretty well. There's a difference between knowing what's going to happen on the field and going out there and just balling, right?
He's made one play today, Travis. Remember which one it was?
His run for a first down.
There you go. You nailed it. Third down.
Yeah.
Pockets collapsing. 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, something like that. And he ran for like 11 yards. Great play. Great presence. Awesome.
Yeah,
One play.
It's frustrating because it's great defensive football, but all around, it's just not fun football to watch. It's not entertaining. It's not. It's just kind of there, you know.
It's tense because when your defense is the one that usually only bad things happen on defense. The special teams have been amazing. The defense have been great. But you're right, Travis. Being out there for 17 minutes and a half, you just can't sustain it. Eventually, something's going to break. Iowa State's got playmakers. I was worried that it was going to happen last week with South Dakota State. Iowa State's got playmakers. Hutchinson and Brock can get behind our defense and score and change this game in one play. Being up by 4 ain't good enough.
I'm going to play Matt Campbell here. I'm going to say you're going to the locker room going, fellas, here's the deal. You had 2 turnovers, both of them in the end zone. You're only down 4. You're sitting in a good spot because your offense is moving the football 180 yards of offense against this Iowa defense is a good number. I think if you're Matt Campbell, you're saying you're sitting in a good spot. If you're Kirk Ferentz going in the locker room, what do you say? You be Kirk Ferentz right here.
I'm saying we're lucky to be getting this locker room. Yeah, I'm kind of using that same message. Saying we're lucky to be in this locker room. We have not played Hawkeye football. We've made huge mistakes and penalties that kept drives alive. Drives that, honestly, the one interception happened because of a penalty. So, if you don't have that penalty in the end zone, they're going to take a field goal there, and you end up getting an interception. If I am Kirk Ferentz, I'm going into the locker room and I'm saying, Spencer, thank you so much for your time. Everybody, let's rally behind Alex. It's Alex's time to shine, and we're going to make something happen here. We're going to figure out a way to get this offense to move the ball down the field. Defense, great job. We're going to do everything we can to try to help you guys win this football game today. Got that, Brian? Hear what I'm saying? I'm telling the defense they're doing everything and you're doing nothing. Figure it out. That's my message if I'm Kirk Ferentz. You're lucky to be in this locker room ahead.
Iowa's 6-game winning streak against Iowa State is on the line here. The Hawks are at home. One thing is for sure, the Jethro's Barbecue Sound-Off is going to be lit tonight. I can promise you that. Win or lose, there is plenty to discuss, right? Because whatever happens in the second half, whether it's get turned around Spencer Petras or Alex Padilla, for the second week in a row, the show is going to be about the quarterback, as it should be. It should be about nothing else.
It should be about the offense. The quarterback is the one that's taking all the blame and all the heat. The fact that the offense can't move the football down the field. And I don't want LaShawn Williams looks like a really good running back. I'm excited about the future of the Hawkeye running backs with him back there. And obviously Gavin, when he's healthy, is going to be a big addition to that. But tough, man.
Very, very tough. All the comments coming in so far is all about Petras.
I don't blame any of the listeners for feeling that exact same way that I do. We've seen it. We've seen this enough. It's a broken record.
We saw some people on Twitter earlier in the week, not a big fan of the booing, right? They'll call it boorish and crass or just lazy or whatever. Truth is, I'd rather hear a boo than people bashing somebody on Twitter or social media is no different than a boo, right? You can read that a lot easier. But the truth is, people are voicing their displeasure, and fans have to have an avenue to voice their displeasure. And Sound Off's going to be it tonight. The Sound Off will be it.
Dude, Sound Off is going to be amazing.
It really is. It's coming up after the game. We're thinking about between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. We're on the air till 11 o'clock tonight. Just write this number down right now, 284-1040. That's 515-284-1040. It's the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off. Ross and I are going to watch the second half. We'll be back after the game to give our post-game thoughts. If you were a betting man, and I know you're not, are we talking about a Hawkeye win or a Hawkeye loss after this?
I'm a betting man. We're talking about a Hawkeye loss. Iowa State gets a play or is able to get a few more drives down the field and put a few field goals up on the board and win this game. Travis, I just had one of the dumbest moments I've ever had in my brain ever. You gave the phone number at 284-1040.
Yep.
And for a moment in my brain, I thought, well, is 1040 like, does that spell out WHO on your?
So here's the deal. The over-under now, is the line change?
This is live right now.
So the live right now, Iowa's still a 4.5-point favorite. In mid-game, the over-under's dropped to 29.5. It wasn't. So thanks to Tony for handing that information.
Thanks, Tony.
We'll be back after the game right here on Facebook. Send it. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Send us messages however you want. But we'll be back to talk about the Cy-Hawk final after the game. See you then.